Good morning. Welcome back, everybody. Welcome back from Manizmanim. Now, today we're Zechariah Perek Yugimel. Okay? Tomorrow we could finish, or maybe later today, maybe we could finish Zecharia. Okay. Let's get started. Pasuk Aleph. Today is in honor of Ram Shalom Bar Simcha. And also, today is the Chanishmas Chav Bas Yaakov. And let's get started. Okay. Bayemahu. Bayemahu. Pasuk Aleph. Who? Yehuda ben Aaron Baruch. Yesterday also, very good. And in honor of Yehuda ben Baruch. Okay, sounds good. V'yemahu yeh mekar niftach lebeis David l'yosher Yerushalayim l'chatas hanida. So, Zok the Navi, on that day, referring to the end of time, what's going to happen? There's going to be a spring that's going to open up, and it's going to flow lebeis David l'yosher Yerushalayim l'chatas hanida, which means there's two ways to learn it. It means literally and metaphorically. Literally means there's going to be a spring that's going to come out of Yerushalayim. First we say it means from the stuff from the Beis Hamikdash, and it's going to go into Yerushalayim. It's going to go towards out to Yerushalayim. We'll see later on in Zecharia it's actually flow to the whole world. But right now it's going to start up this spring, and it's going to be l'chatas hanida. So. I think so. I think so. Yeah, so I think so. And based on tomorrow, we'll see also that the idea is that it's going to, when it gets bigger and bigger, that's right. And that's the idea of the Yerushalayim is going to. Okay, we'll get this soon. But anyways, the Chadim means it's going to be for chatas, for cleansing, and the leader means for purification. In other words, so the Pasha way to learn it means it's going to be the spring. Instead of them having to go out of Yerushalayim to be Matar, they'll be in Yerushalayim. But the way the Malbim learns it up, okay, we're learning based on the Malbim. The Malbim that means that the Riboy Das and Hashem is going to start in Yerushalayim. It's going to spread the wisdom and Amunah of Hashem and Torah. It's going to spread all around Yerushalayim, and and that's where it's all going to start from. And what's the l'chatas hanida? So he says that the Das of Hashem is going to come and it's going to purify the people's bad days and people do tshuva, and the whole movement is going to start from Yerushalayim. That's the way the Malbim learns it in a metaphoric way. Now, what's going to happen? Right. Because, right. Now, in that day, Hashem tzavakos achris es hashmois hatzabayim min haaretz. Hashem's going to cut off the names of all of Avodah Zarah. So, in other words, first it's going to be Riboy Das Hashem, and then Avodah Zarah is going to be cut off from the world. Well, the Yisku Oid, and it will be gone. We know remembrance of Avodah Zarah. V'gam es Neviim es Ruach Hatoma Avim min haaretz. And also the Neviim. And the Ruach HaToma, I'm going to remove, clean from the world. So first of all, why is Avodah Zarah called Atzabayim? Atabim? What's it called? The reason is because it makes people sad. Because you daven Avodah Zarah, you cry, and then doesn't answer. So you come very sad. Right? Now, what does it mean? Gam and Neviim, I'm gonna remove. So the Malbim says it refers to the Neviim of India, China, and Japan. So the Malbim brings down. And what does it mean? Avim min haaretz? He says I remove from the Aretz, but he says it means I remove the people who bow to the Aretz. And he says it's referring to the people, the Neviim of Muhammad. I'm going to remove the leaders of the Muslim world from the Aretz. That's the way the Malbim learns it up. And he says v'gam. I'm sorry, v'haya ki yinavi ish oid. And if someone a yid, let's say, says a nevuah v'amru alav av v'imay, and he tells it to his yoladav, his parents are going to say. He tells them a nevuah, and the parents are going to say, "Lo sichye, you shouldn't live." He's sheked ibat Hashem Hashem. It means someone is going to go to his parents, say a nevuah. He's a fake navi, and even his parents who gave birth to him are going to say, but they're going to say he spoke falsely in the name of Hashem, and they're cool, and they're going to pierce him. In other words, aviv aviu v'imay, and his parents are going to kill him. They're going to say, "Why are you speaking? Are you speaking the false nevuah in the name of Hashem?" In other words, it's going to be so not a thing to talk to give a fake nevuah that his own parents are going to be so upset at him, and they're going to kill him. The parents of Yoladav, no. The parents of a person who says nevuah, the truth will be so obvious in the world that someone's own parents are going to say, they'll tell his child, like, "What are you doing? Like, why are you trying to say a nevuah in the name of Hashem? That's false." And they're going to just want to kill him. Now, what's going to happen also? And that day, it's going to be embarrassed, the people who say nevuah from the right, and also, like we said, that they're going to be so, it's going to be so not the thing to do. They're going to be so embarrassed to say a fake nevuah, and they're not going to wear the fur cloak. So the Malbim brings down that they used to wear. They said nevuah, they used to wear like a nice bekasha, a nice fur bekasha. So they're not going to wear that bekasha anymore, and they're gonna and what does it mean? Laman kachesh. Because he says because right, because it means in order to say nevuah. In other words, they're not going to wear that fur cloak that he used to say. They used to say nevuah. Another taich means it's a bekasha that used to the lashon of kachesh is the lashon of to deceive, like a bekasha that used to say nevuah. Anyways,
recommencing.
They used to want to look chashiv and say nevuah, so they put on this longer bekasha and they gave a whole nevuah. So they're not going to say nevuah, and they're not going to wear the bekasha. And even further, the next passage says if a guy says, "No, so what's your job?" He'll say, "I'm a farmer. I'm not just a farmer. I don't say nevuah." And even further, the next passage he says, "Hey, so what's this cut you have?" Because the olden days when they say nevuah, they used to in order to try to get nevuah, they used to make a cut. So he says, "No, the cuts. I have cuts for him. My friend got a fight with me. He was giving me muster, and he gave me a stick, he hit me, whatever. He'd be so embarrassed. In other words, that's the next few psukim. Exactly. I don't need the bekasha. Say I'm not a navi. I'm just ish. I'm a farmer. Ki adam, hikanani minura, and they sold me when I was young. They sold me off to slavery to be a farmer. I'm not a navi. That was not a thing to do. Now, Amar love. They say ma makasei. Listen, on your hand, you see all these scratches. Like what's this? What's going on? Ben Yodav. Amar ish ukani basic. May base may have it. In other words, they like I said, they hit me because out of love. So the doc actually says what happened was one day he didn't show up to farming, so they tied him down, so he got some scratches, and then whatever the reason is, everything not to say that I'm a navi. Zion v'cherev urai al rai, and then what happened is cherev, a sword, urai is going to be awakened on the shepherd. What does that mean? So the Malbim brings down, it means it's referring to the people that believe in Muhammad, and they call him the shepherd. So he says cherev, a sword, uri al roi, it's going to awaken on the person who claims to be the shepherd, and also al gever amiti, the person who says that he's the friend of God. So it's referring to Muhammad to be cherev on them. And Hashem says, that's how says Hashem. Hachas roya, Hashem says, hachas roya, I'm going to hit Muhammad, and what? Utifatzena. And what? I'm going to disperse all the followers of him. I'm going to disperse. I'm going to spread out the sheep. In other words, the followers. And Hashem said, I'm going to put pain. I'm going to punish. In other words, all the people that pain themselves to follow after the people of Muhammad. That's the way the Malbim wants to learn it up. Okay. Now, again, you can learn up a whole different shot. If you want to learn like Radak, it's a whole different shot. But he goes that's referring to Muhammad, and Hashem is going to punish all the followers and that follow after that are the sign that are the sheep that follow after them. Okay, I think so. I went with one derech because once he starts switching, what happens is then all the psukim don't work out. Right. In other words, Hashem says on that day, 2/3 I'm going to cut off, and not only going to cut them off, also yigvo, they're also going to die. And the third, yivaser are going to be left over. What does that mean? So it's a Gemara in Sanhedrin. The Gemara said, what does it mean? So it seems like 2/3 is going to cut off, and 1/3 is going to be fine. 2/3, so either means the 1/3 that's going to be left over, either according to Shalkach for the Klal Yisrael, 2/3 of Klal Yisrael got killed, 1/3 is going to be left over. Rabbi Yehuda says no, the whole Klal Yisrael is going to live through this. It means 1/3 of the world is going to survive. The world, in other words, in the world, but Klal Yisrael is going to be fine. So it'll be a big massacre in the world. Okay, so that's what everyone. It's a soul today. You have people that touch up their way. Like you better come to that soul now, or you might miss out. I don't know how to learn it up, but that's just it's fine. Pause the test. Now the third that's left over, what's going to happen? Hashem says, this third is going to be purified with be'esh. It's a fasayim, like The same way you purify silver and you put it through the Korah Barzel, it's a purification process. So that same idea, Hashem says that the third is going to go through a process of purification, and also like the way you refine gold. Who yikra b'shmi, and okay, so now Hashem saying that whoever's left over, it's to me a painful process, but I'm going to make them pure and purify them, like I purify silver and gold, and then who yikra b'shmi, and when the Klal Yisrael calls it by name, and vani, and now he said, I'm responding. V'amarti ami, I'll say my nation. Who v'yomer, and they'll say, what? Let's see, he puts a comment before. Marti Ami, and they'll say that Hashem is my Hashem. That's the end of Perek test. Sorry, Perek Yigimel. That's fine. Period. Yeah.